Hey, what's going on, guys? So I took my MX5 in for an MOT the other week and it failed because of the suspension. So I've said fuck it, bought myself some coilovers. I got the VMAX, just the height adjustable ones, not the damping adjusting. And we're just gonna put it on the car and lower it.
So yesterday, because we haven't actually changed suspension on the car before, we did one of the back ones just in case to see how long it would take, and it took us like 4.5 hours because of weather and because we're idiots. But the way that we got to the first one is we undid the plate back here, and you have to get to these 3 rear bolts in the back. And it's very important that you only do the 2 on either side and that you don't do the one in the middle. And as you can tell, it's very difficult to get into the back of this one. And on the other side, it's much more simple. You just take out the rear tyre and the spare tyre, and you do the same thing again. And that's how we're going to start this one. Hopefully this one doesn't take 4.5 hours. So, let's get to it. Oh my god! Jesus Christ, boy.
You got it?
Yeah! Eventually.
What else do we need?
Oh, fucking hell. New arms.
So to get this suspension out, you've got one bolt in the bottom here, which is just in this little hole. But there's going to be a lot of tension on the spring, stopping you getting it out. So it's a good idea to undo this one as well, to release some of that tension. And then there's just 2 more bolts on the top to undo.
Alright, add this to your bloopers. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. I know zero about cars. I'm a gamer. Let that be let that be said. Which people are just gonna roast me in the comments. It's like, oh yeah, this guy doesn't even know how to undo a fucking bolt. What an idiot!
Starting to spit again, John.
It may be starting to spit now, but yesterday when we went to do this, the reason it did take us so long is because we had a random storm just crop up on us. Thunder, rain, hail, which was fucking huge.
Shit tons of hail.
And a little bit of snow as well. And that was on and off for about 2.5 hours, that was?
Maybe more than that.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
So once you've undone that bottom bolt, you've just got 2 up here in the boot behind the spare wheel to do. They're both 14mm. Do not undo the middle bolt because that holds all the spring tension in. So we've undone all the bolts, including the one to loosen it off. To get this out, you need to put pressure on here, and either try and get the top bit to come down and up into your wheel arch, or try and get the bottom bit out and slip it to the side, which can be a bit of a pain sometimes, as it was yesterday. Yeah. Lovely.
Lovely stuff.
That came out pretty easy this time.
Yeah.
So now we're just old spring, sorry. We've got to take the top out of it, which can be a bit of a bitch because we've got to compress it.
Look at this rubber.
Oh yeah,
That's some shot.
That's shit.
God damn.
That's why I failed the MOT.
Yeah. Well, it's a good job of replacing it.
Once you've got the spring out, you need to use a spring compressor to get the top bit off if you need to, or if you don't need to get the top bit off, you can just put your new spring straight in the car. But I've got one of these spring compressors, which are better because they actually hold the whole spring, whereas the little flimsy ones could slip off or snap off. That could crush your hand or do anything. So that was a bit of a bitch because the bolt was fucking stiff, but we got the end of it off. Now I've just got to get rid of all the tension in the spring to make it safe. It's going to take a while, so I'm not going to record it. So this is how the springs come. It comes with 2 nuts on top, which you just unscrew. And then you just get your old top plate, put it over the top with your washer in there. I'm going to have to lower this a bit to get it on. That should do. Then you put the big bolt back on, and then you get the little one and tighten that against it.
Oh.
And you just tighten that to the other bolt as hard as you can get it, because that stops them coming apart. And that's ready to go in. But we're gonna tighten the springs up first before we chuck it in the car, so we don't have to adjust it too much. Let's do it. We've got it fully assembled. We've got to get it back in. So what you've got to do, push the top bit into your hole like that, and then with one person pushing down here, get that bit in there and make sure the bolts line up, and then you've got to screw your bolts in the top. Actually, what if how easy is that to get in? You can do it with one person if you want. I think the screws are. There you go.
And then you just slide that back.
I'll just screw these in first.
Okay.
Now you just put this last bolt back in the bottom. Close the hole. You might have to pull up against it. Where is it? Yeah, I might need a hand with this hand actually. Yeah, but pretty much you just put the bolt in there.
Now let's lower it slowly onto the wheel. Not too bad. So while Ollie's finishing, like taking off the tyres so we can start the front, this is what's left of the rear right suspension on the car, and I think it's pretty clear to see why this failed the MOT, isn't it?
Just a bit, and it's covered in like
yeah,
oil.
and it's covered in oil and just all types of shit. So please don't drive your car if it looks like this. I think that's pretty standard, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Right, so it's now the next day. We were struggling to get the front ones out because the upper control arm is kind of in the way of it. I'll show you where we've got. So this is where we are. We've undone the top bolts, undone the one down the bottom. But when we push down here, we can't manage to get the actual suspension above this bit. So it looks like we're going to have to undo this bolt all the way at the back here. To release this upper control arm to get the suspension out. This is going to be a complete bit because I haven't actually got the tools to do this race, so I'm going to have to use a spanner. That's the only thing I've got to go have to undo this bolt. So I'm going to have a go at doing that. So I just managed to put the new spring in, and it was a complete bitch to get it past this. I did try undoing the bolt down the bottom here. Where is it? Here. But that didn't help at all, so I had to release this big bolt going all the way from here across to here. You have to undo it from here, release, remove all the trim from under the car and pull the bolt out, and then this whole thing come forward. But that took ages to do that. So just if you're doing your own, be aware that can be quite tricky. But yeah, now I'm going to do the other side. I'll show you what it looks like when it's on the floor again. So I just finished putting all the coilovers on, and to be honest, it was a complete bitch, considering I didn't have like the proper tools, the big enough tools. I didn't have a breaker bar, so I had to use a shitty bar. I'll suggest to you guys, if you don't have good tools and a breaker bar, get them, or either expect to break a few tools, because I broke a socket and a few like extenders for the socket set. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It's not completely slammed, but it's lower than it was. I think I'm going to get new wheels, and then I'll start thinking about like properly making it look so it all fits good. But this setup will be good for now. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.